Historians, how are you? This is Professor Cates. Today, I just wanted to give you a sense of how to use BeachBoard this semester while you are participating in History 401. So, just really quickly, wanted to show you just a little quick welcome message that's also included here is a quick introduction video about the course itself, kind of the expectations, the different aspects that you'll be learning. I'm sure you already know a little bit of this due to the fact that you probably have friends or classmates that have had 401 at some point, and you have a sense of what the class is like. Another message, a reminder about how to contact me, neil.cates@csulb.edu, and also reminds you of your first assignment. But the place you might want to start first, after you've viewed the video and then kind of get a sense of what's going on in the class in total, is here where it says Start Here, strangely enough. So welcoming you again to History 401. The video, when I'm finished with it, is going to lie here in the section that says Start Here. Will be linked to number 1. So you're going to view the video, become familiar with the home page like you see here. We'll talk about that in just a moment. You're going to navigate to the content page, which I'll show you. Also have a chance to read the syllabus. Make sure to add your picture to your BeachBoard profile. Just helps myself as well as your other professors get a sense of who you are, kind of put a name to a face prior to class. Then also make sure to set up your BeachBoard notifications so that you'll be receiving emails about different news, announcements, assignments, etc. that are placed on BeachBoard by me. And then last but not least, your first assignment is pretty straightforward and simple. Just to please read an article from the New York Times that's titled 2 States, 8 Textbooks. And then what I'd also like for you to do is to create a Flipgrid introduction video. And so if you click on this link here, it'll send you to the website Flipgrid, where if you could please use your Cal State Long Beach email, you can log in and then create a short video. And it has some prompts to kind of remind you of what I would like for you to include in your short video so that we can get a sense of who everybody is in the class. And so I will be posting mine not too far in the future, pretty shortly. And then you'll kind of have that as a guide, as well as other students who will be participating in that. And please get that done if you can before our first class, which is August 26th. And then here is a link to a YouTube video where I'm introducing myself, my personal education background, my professional background. Take a look at that, and then just some quick reminders about expectations. On the left-hand side here, we have a few of the assignments that are coming up in the class. Here again, we have your reading of the article 2 States, 8 Textbooks, then also your introduction video. You'll be receiving points for that. And then this quick navigation video that I'm creating now. And then again, reminding you of some of the assignments that you have in the not too distant future. And then here are the ways in which to contact me. You can either do that through email. You can download the Remind app and then send messages to me through the app itself. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Or you might set up a office hour meeting with me, and my office hours are usually about 8 o'clock to 9 p.m. after class, or we can set up another time to meet if you cannot meet after class, and we can set that up and meet together, digitally, obviously. Then we have the CSULB students resources here, long list of resources that you can use to help you not only be successful in this class, but other classes at Long Beach State. And then down here at the very bottom, we have different things that will help you in terms of reminding you about commercial and political use on BeachBoard's prohibited, accessibility statements, and those kinds of things. So again, you want to make sure that you're using this particular page to your advantage. Again, there's a quick video here. There will be a video here that's connected where it says video. And when I'm done with this one, and then here's just a quick introduction video. So just a few things for you to take a peek at as we head towards the semester. What I want to do is show you the content page. So you click on that. And as we scroll down, one of the first things you have here is the syllabus. If you click on that, it will open up in a new tab, and you can peruse through the syllabus itself. We're going to have just a quick formative assessment towards the end of the first class meeting, where there'll be just kind of a short quiz about the syllabus. So try to take a look at that. We'll go over a little bit of it in class so that you have some familiarity with that if you were not able to take a look at it prior to the class meeting. Again, we have some frequently asked questions. These are just some questions that students usually have in preparation for 401. For some reason, this is not inclusive of your question, you can feel free to email me again at neil.cates@csulb.edu. Again, we have our virtual office hours. Just click on there. That's the link. If you have any questions for me, you can leave them here or on the discussion board. Okay. And then our weekly meetings, we will vast majority of the time meet on Wednesdays, unless, for example, it's Veterans Day on 11/11 this year is a Wednesday. So we will not have class, but we will have some stuff that I would like for you to get done before midnight of that night so that we can kind of stay on pace for the rest of the semester. But you should be able to click on there and then participate in our weekly Wednesday meetings beginning at 5 p.m. Then here are some reminders. These are also included in the actual syllabus, but just a quick reminder. The two books that you really want to get is Robert Marx's The Origins of the Modern World, the 4th edition. That's important because it's the newest edition of this year, actually 2020. And then Eric Foner and Lisa McGurr's American History Now is a really important book in the second part of the semester, where we will be focusing on U.S. history. And so those are the required texts. We have a couple of supplemental texts. One is a PDF brought to us by a professor from Canada named Peter Satius, and then also Tom Morton, who also is a teacher in Canada. But this is a text that we're going to be reading parts of, but I wanted to give you the whole thing just in case for some reason you really wanted to dive deep into the different guideposts, you could do that. But when we have those readings throughout the semester, I'll be giving you just the portion that you need. And then also something that I'm giving you is a link to my Google Drive, which has a bunch of digital textbooks. So if you need an AP World History textbook because you don't have one or you don't have access to one, you can click on this and then it gives you different. So there's a folder of traditions and encounters for Bentley. And there's also a PDF that I use for my class at McBride High School of our textbook here is Ways of the World, and it's written by Robert Strayer. And then again, we have some AP US history books. And again, the reason why we're using the AP books is because they cover a vast majority of the content that we need for this particular class. So the AP World History book, for example, covers the 6th grade content, the 7th grade content, and 10th grade content, which we'll be focusing on in History 401. And then the AP US books cover things like 8th grade history and then also 11th grade history. So you get a little bit more for your money in terms of those books. And then here are the terms, which we'll be talking a lot about in the first few weeks of the semester, where you are going to be assessed on your knowledge of these terms. So you're going to click on these. And if you notice above here are the exam dates. And you can see that they are sort of spread out through the semester. There's one in September, one in October, one in November, and then one in December, which counts as our final exam. So these are what you need to study in preparation for the test. You'll be receiving a digital version of that, and then you have 90 minutes to complete your answers to 5 of the prompts. We'll talk again more about those in depth in class. And then here is kind of an example of what we see on a weekly basis. Just quick introduction to the week. Then if you click on here, we have our weekly checklist. So if you think about you want to take some notes from week 1's lecture, the readings of the syllabus, as well as the 2 States 8 textbooks article, the intro video, which you probably will finish before class, you should hopefully do, and then this intro video, you'd click on that, and then before our meeting is over on the first night of class, you'll finish up this historical thinking skills Google form. It's just a quick assessment of mine so that I kind of get a sense of where everybody is in terms of their knowledge of the historical thinking skills that we will be dealing with throughout the semester. So it's kind of like a pre-test in a way. And then if we look at week 2, we have, again, a summary. And then we scroll down. So here's our checklist. And then the readings. This week you'll be reading a short selection from Satius, another selection from Satius, an article by Bob Bain, an article by Bruce Van Sledwright, and then an article by Wendy Smith Johnston. And what you're going to be doing is reading those, but then also participating in if we look here, click on the checklist again, in a discussion board topic, which is posted on BeachBoard, which I'll show you in a moment. And then you will be having a historical thinking skills kind of anticipatory set at the beginning of class. Then towards the end, we're going to have just a quick quiz based on the sort of ancient and classical eras in history. So again, these quizzes are just to kind of give us some feedback information about your knowledge, and then you can kind of use them as a way in which to assess your knowledge of the different terms as well as the different topics. But what I want to do now is kind of to quickly move to the discussions section. So if you click here, if you have questions for me, you can email me or post them here on our discussion board. But you'll see that I've already uploaded the first 3 of our discussion prompts, and they will all look very, very similar to this. So it says, for example, week 2, after reading Van Sledwright, Smith Johnston, and Satius, explain how the authors either confirmed, contested, or expanded your understanding of history and how it's taught. Okay. And so that's going to be our sort of focus question for each week. And what you'll do is you will click on that and then leave your response as part of the thread. And then you'll be earning points throughout this semester by posting these responses. And I'll try to give you some feedback as I read them to then give you those points to put into the gradebook. So I usually try to grade these right after class or that night to get back to you as soon as possible, because a lot of times what ends up happening is the comments you posted in the discussion on the discussion board end up becoming something that we discuss in class. So I like to make those comments as quick as possible so that our discussions in class are still fresh in my mind. So again, you're going to do that for basically each week that we do not have an exam. From week 2 forward is the routine that we're going to basically be following. Okay, so again, we have week 2, which is teaching and learning, the class lecture, there's the readings. We also have a supplemental text here, which is an article that we recommend you read. It's not something you have to do, but since we are talking a lot about time and change and empathy, cause and evidence, etc., it's a good article to kind of take a peek at. Because especially if these historical thinking skills are new to you, it may be something that you want to take a look at. Okay, so again, it's not a requirement, but it is something that would be a good idea if these are new concepts to you, so that you can, in one way or another, be sort of on the same page with everybody else. And then we have week 3, again, kind of a summation of the week, right? And then we have our week 3 checklist. Again, this checklist is for you to be able to use to help remind yourself what you need to complete in preparation or even during our class. So for example, the assignment, you have kind of a quick Google form at the beginning of class, sort of like a anticipatory set. And then at the end of class, we'll have a quick quiz about the post-classical era. We'll talk a little bit about the preparation for the Unit 1 terms. And then you also need to have, obviously, your week 3 discussion board topics already up on BeachBoard prior to class. Okay, so again, you're clicking on these to kind of keep track for yourself so that you would be able to be aware of all the different things that you need to have so that you can be successful in History 401. And so again, this website is BeachBoard is trying to help you be successful in this particular class as well as others. So again, we have the week 4 checklist. You scroll down, there's a different assignments. There's a different Google form you'll be doing in class. This is your first essay that's due. So it's important for you to be able to find that and then read the prompt. Click on it here. This is the directions. There's also a PDF of them. So it's available to you to take a look at so that if you do have any questions or concerns, you can always email me or ask questions on the discussion board. If you email me directly, it's usually something I can find quickly because unfortunately sometimes the discussion questions that are directed at me get kind of lost in the mix. Then for week 4, we do have a couple of supplemental readings. Week 4 is kind of jam-packed, but there's a couple of articles that we really like. We would like for you to have access to, but we may not really have time to necessarily read them and discuss them, so we made them available. So again, that is just a quick summary of how to use BeachBoard to be successful in History 401. Again, I'll be uploading more and more things as we get closer to the semester and during the semester. so that you'll have access to basically everything throughout the semester prior to class, just in case you're able to, you want to get ahead in the reading, etc. You'll be able to do that. But again, start here. This video will be connected right there, and you'll have access to all this information that you need to be successful in History 401. So again, this is Professor Cates. Have a great day, have a great week, and go Beach.